Hello everybody, and I just wanted to do the first of my little tips videos that I'm wanting to put out onto my YouTube channel. This is a new set of cards, a new tarot deck, and I wanted to show you what my process is when I get a new deck, which is not often, so I'm very fussy about how I choose my decks. I often will have my pendulum in my hand as I'm looking at a deck online, and I just ask the question, is it in my best and highest good for me to use this deck? Will this deck be beneficial? And a lot of times I get a no out of that. So I kind of go between using my pendulum to dowse and find the answer to that question, and also just a feeling that you get on the inside from the artwork and such. So let's see here. This is really exciting. This is the Tarot of Mystical Moments by Catrin Welz-Stein. And I ordered this back at the end of September through Amazon, and it was delayed. And so I went right to US Games, based in Stamford, Connecticut, and ordered it directly. They're the producer of this deck. So let's see. Just wanting to share, because you're going to find your own way in which you want to do handle your deck, but I do feel it's important as a first step, to really treat it as a sacred moment when you're dealing with a new deck like this. So this artist, Catrin, her artwork is just phenomenal, and I'm just overjoyed about this. So pretty much every deck is going to come with a little instruction booklet that tells you what's pictured on the card. And with tarot, you can read upright meanings and reverse meanings if the card, as you're shuffling, comes out in reverse. For me, personally, as a reader, I choose to only use the upright meaning. I don't know, it's just something in me that I feel like that is the way that I prefer to do the reading. So in any case, every deck usually comes with this kind of a booklet. So there's that. And then here is the cards themselves. And, check it out. There's like this beautiful gleaming silver edging. And I have other decks that have that, and I really enjoy it. There's a big component of how the deck feels to you when you first handle it, and that's kind of important to take notice of. So let's see if I can get this opened up. And it's just truly, it's a very sacred thing when you're opening a deck, because it's the first time that you are really putting your energy onto the piece itself. Okay, so she's got kind of an overview here about the deck, and then all of these beautiful cards. So before I go through the process related to looking at the cards and kind of infusing your energy, what I usually do is I kind of make sure that they're separated. These are so sparkly and pretty. I love it. And the first thing I do is I've got some sage here that I've lit, that I will light up. And this, to me, is important. This is a clearing mechanism to clear whatever energies may have been picked up during the production process, and any one that was handling the deck prior to me receiving it, including the post office and what the deck has traveled through before coming to me. And so literally all that I do is I just kind of pass the deck through that sage cleanse, and just kind of spread the deck out a little bit. Make sure all the cards get touched, not only with your fingers, but just the sage itself. And in doing this, just set the intention. I'm resetting the energy to its baseline so that the messages will come through clear and strong and true every time that I use this deck going forward. Okay, so, and it really doesn't take long, and I just let the sage keep going, because it cleanses the whole environment as I'm going through this process. And then the fun part really begins, and I really spend time, and I won't include this in the video, but I'm going to really take my time and go through these and kind of really take in the artwork. And it helps, you can use the guidebook for sure, but it helps if like in a tarot deck, if you know the meanings of all of the major arcana and then the minor arcana, which are both in this deck. Just see, what the artist's interpretation of that is. And just see what things come up for you as you're handling each individual one. So I'm saying, really take your time as a reader. Whether you're doing your readings for yourself or other people, take that time to just take in the artwork. This is part of making the deck your own, is that you're going to have some reactions. And something that I like to do as I handle each one is if there's certain ones that just, wow, they just really pop out to me, I kind of put those aside and I look at them again. And just to look at as a very first step as a reader, why is that popping out to me? What is it about that card that is getting my attention? And so you're going to see, you're just going to have a feeling. Like that one, the High Priestess, that is gorgeous. Oh, look at that, the Empress. Isn't that beautiful? Little baby. So that one really pops out to me. And as an example, if I'm taking a deeper look at this, I just feel the gentle message because it's all these flowers that are under, and they're literally sprouting out of this lily that is her skirt here. I mean, this artist is so brilliant. And I just feel a message of gentleness, softness. And that has a lot to do with how I'm going to end up reading this card for other people. Because when you have an initial reaction to a card, that tells you a lot about the lens that you use when you do readings. And I will keep saying this in my videos. What I suggest for building your intuition is the use of divining tools such as card decks, such as the pendulum, such as astrology. There's so many tools out there. But no matter what it is, the more you pick it up, the stronger that intuitive muscle is going to be built. So literally picking up like a brand new deck, I will plan to use this easily for a week solid. So for me, every morning, I will likely wake up and I will go through doing some kind of like a 3-card reading for myself. So I'm going to put her aside and just go through each one and take your time of really looking at the artwork, soaking it in. Oh, I love the Hierophant. Look at the owl. Okay, that really hits me. This is a type of Hierophant energy, which often is connected like with the Pope and with a higher form of wisdom. And it feels much more approachable to me because it's the artwork is outside of the traditional religious context. And so I really relate to this. I'm going to keep that one out. So again, this is the process you're going to want to go through, is this loving internalization of each of these cards. Okay, they're just gorgeous. Oh God, the Chariot, I love that. I have a feeling I'm going to love a lot of these cards. So that would be my process for that. I would go through each one. And then the first time that you use a deck, and again, I really do want to go through these, but I want to include in this video because it is important to first use the deck with yourself. I would never use a brand new deck for a client. A deck that I have not even done one single reading for myself. That's why I'm recommending that you spend at least a week doing readings for yourself, even if it's 1 card a day, or you could do a 3-card reading, and that could be, you know, what is the wisdom that I need for today? What best serves me today? You know, what should I be looking out for in the future? You can really make those 3 cards about anything. A lot of people actually use the first card as what past wisdom will really help me today. What is the perspective that will help me in my moments today that I could take to help me out? And then kind of what is a long-term or longer term, like a carrot that sits out in front of you. What is that perspective that will serve me best in my day? So after you've gone through this process of looking through each card, I always do a knock on the deck, and then I place my hands, one on the top, one on the bottom, and I use body dowsing to say to the deck, I hereby cleanse this deck across all timelines, dimensions, and realities, and my body goes forward as that energy of cleansing and clearing moves into the deck. So the saging is more to release any energies that have happened while the deck was making its way to me. And now I'm infusing my own energy as a reader into this deck. And I'm keeping the energy present. And I do that process every single time I pick up a deck, whether it's new or I've had it for years. Every time I'm going to use a deck, I do that same thing. Knock, and then do this exercise with the hands. Understand there is cleansing and clearing energy coming through your hands. I hereby cleanse this deck across all timelines, dimensions, and realities. And my body just goes forward, and that's how I know it is done. And then, you know, just in keeping with card readings, I hold the deck like this. I find it easier. And what I want to say to you about the feel of this deck, those gilded edges, make it really nice and smooth for these to come out of my hand, you know, to kind of slip through, so to speak. And this is a perfect size for a deck because it will fit in the hands, even though I have small hands. It works for me. Okay, so see this card that just came out? So for me personally, I always use my pendulum. Not sure if there we go, I'm in frame. And I just pull this card that's sticking out. I pull that out and I say, is this the card that's meant for me? And it's a yes. And that's just my method that I use. Yes, 10 of Wands. Now this card is meant to show, you know, kind of having a lot of burdens on top of you, but don't you love the way that she depicted this is this softness of these flowers. And so immediately what I feel from this is you might feel burdened by things, but you need to be looking at the gifts of them, of the sweet smells of them, and to realize that they're actually not that heavy. They're there to inform you. They're there to enlighten you. The flowers is a really positive spin on this card. Okay, so I don't take it as burdensome. I take it as you need to take a closer look and consider if your burdens are actually the flowers of life that open you to more possibilities, and you're just not choosing to see them that way. Okay? So that's my little overview about what I do with a new deck. And now I'm going to sit down in my comfy chair and I'm going to go through each one of these and do that exercise of pulling out the ones that really speak to me, and then go back and look at those cards again and say, why is that? Because there's not only a message there for you, but it does reveal a good bit about your own lens as a reader, and that lens will carry out through every type of reading that you do, okay? I hope that that's helpful, and please let me know if you have any questions. Feel free to note it in the YouTube comments, and I'll try to check and answer whatever I can. Thanks for tuning in. Bye-bye for now.